What's going on, guys? It's Austin. Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be part 2 of a series. We don't know how long it's going to be. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this series, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, click the like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon so YouTube can allow you to know when I upload videos. Let's get into the video. Now, the last time we left off, when we were talking about my time in military school, we had just woke up. Our captains came in absolutely trying to give us a heart attack. They came in with the whistles, they came in hitting the walls, slamming doors, basically trying to wake us up under any circumstances. And like I said, my roommate fell on top of me. We were really confused. We get on the wall. Now, once we get on the wall, they're going to be counting off from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure everybody's there. We get in. We go back to our rooms. We start getting ready for the day. Now, this is new to all of us. So we went, brushed our teeth, got in our working out clothes, and it's time to go and die. Absolutely die. We go outside, we get in formation. All 3 platoons are in formation. They march us around to a basketball court. I guess this basketball court was optimal to try and murder us. And this was the beginning of my death. I never worked so hard. I know I said when I got smoked yesterday that it was the most that I ever did in my entire life. No. When we worked out that first morning, it was crazy because, for one, I never really stretched before. There's all these things you do prepping before you start exercising, and as working as a unit. Oh, let me tell you, the first 2 weeks of the program we are actually cadets yet. We're not actually cadets. We're still, I forget the word that they called us, but we're basically not cadets. We're still trying to become cadets. So basically, the first 2 weeks of the program are the most vital, because this is where we're gonna lose the most of our people. Whether they quit, get kicked out because they don't listen, break the rules or whatever. The first 2 weeks are crazy. And at the end of these first 2 weeks, we're gonna be going on. Now, I do believe it was around a 15 to 18 mile hike. Run, hike, whatever you want to call it. We went on the 18-mile walk, hike, whatever. I'm gonna say journey. It was called the Walk of Passage. The Walk of Passage. I don't know if that was the rites of passage. I called it the Walk of Passage. See, this is why I shouldn't be talking. Anyway, it was the rites of passage. After these 2 weeks, we have to go through this strenuous, crazy test where at the end you become an official cadet of Free State Challenge Academy. So that first workout was very intense. We did a lot of different things. They kind of went easy on us, but easy in the sense of getting us accustomed to what we're going to be experiencing. So you had your jumping jacks, or I don't want to say this wrong, side straddle hops. I'm going to look this up and I'm going to put it right now. This is what it was called. Okay, we did crab walks. We did again, mountain climbers. So basically, we did all that. After we worked out, we got back in formation. We're all sweating and we're all dead. The sun didn't even halfway come up yet. That's when the guy who runs the program, Free State Challenge, came up and gave us this little bit of a speech on how he believes in us and how he wants to see us all finish. Blah 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 blah. So after that, they taught us some cadences that because none of us know how to march yet. We didn't have our cadences down. So we basically were out of step with each other, all tripping on each other, trying to get back to the barracks. We went back upstairs. We got dressed, freshened up a little bit. Came back outside in formation around 20 and 30 minutes once we got in there. Now it's chow time. It's breakfast time. Now, eating at Job Corps was a very interesting thing because we eat 3 times a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner. You eat your breakfast. Now, times are a little wonky to me since it's been almost a long time. I do believe we ate at 7:30. Okay, let me see. We got outside around 5 o'clock. We were out there for an hour or 6. Went back in. So I'm gonna say breakfast was around 7 o'clock. Right? Let's just say 7 o'clock. We ate at 7 o'clock. You eat at 12. That's lunch, and then dinner is around. Man, it was at 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm gonna say like 3. It's between 3 and 5 o'clock. I'm gonna say it was 5 o'clock. Yeah, it was around 5 o'clock is when we had our dinner. I'm drawing blanks because it's just my memory is really messed up right now. But anyway, so we went in for our first breakfast. Unfortunately, it didn't go how we thought. We were all hungry. The food was good. Surprisingly, the food was really good, but there's no such things as seconds. Now, I know what some of you thinking, seconds? You know what I mean? Like, why are you worrying about seconds? Because, honestly, there's a lot of things that happened here because we were hungry all the time. Did they starve us? No. But, man, seconds would really have helped out with some of us, but we were hungry. So, basically, none of us could just sit down when we got our food. Once we all got our food, we had to stand at our table and wait for the very last person to get their food. Once everyone gets their food, our sergeant, captain, whoever is leading us at the time is going to allow us to sit down. They'll give us a quote like, "It's chow time." You know, they'll say something to us, like they give us a code word. And once that code word is, you sit your butt down and you scarf it. You have less than 10 minutes to scarf that food down. I'm gonna say 10 to 15 minutes to scarf that food down. Oh, by the way, there isn't much talking at, the chow table. So yeah, you're eating, right? You better spend your time with your mouth and your jaw chewing your food and not talking to each other. Because if once that time runs out, you do not get to finish your food. Now, me being the chunky boy that I am, I did finish my food. Unfortunately, the other people around me, some of them did not. So once they said, "Get up, chow time's over," you get up, get behind your chair, and you stand at attention. That's one of the few things they taught us during our little talks before we got there. And we could not eat the rest of that food. We had to throw it away. Some of those people who were hungry, who threw their food away, were heartbroken. And I could tell some of them were not going to survive this place. Not at all. So we head back outside after we eat. Stand at attention again, and then we march back around to our particular spot where they like to talk to us about news, what are we gonna do, plans for the week, and whatever like that. And this is where it gets interesting. Again, this is day one. I remember day one kind of vividly, and most of my stories from this point on are not going to be every single day because that's impossible to remember. But I have a lot of different memories of things that happened. So we get in formation. We march around to that special spot I was just talking about. One of our main captains came up and gave us, again, the breakdown of how things were going to work. They already taught us how to stand at attention, left face, right face, basic things, because we need to at least understand how to march and to march on step. March with your left, you know what I mean? And they gave us the speech about how the next 2 weeks were going to go. I already gave you guys a speech about people dropping out and everything. So he asked us how many of us feel like we're still going to be here after 2 weeks. And a lot of us raised our hands. Some of us didn't. He asked them why. They said, well, we don't want to be here. That's all he needed to hear. Some of those guys disappeared. Literally. They were gone in the next few days. Their parents had to come and get them. Again, they said, you don't want to be here. This is a voluntary program. They were gone. I was shook. Right? Anyway, to continue with this day. Now, usually at this point, we're just kind of messing around until lunchtime. We have a lot of free time because this program is also meant to give people the chance to go take the GED test. Again, this is a second chance program. So that particular day, they said, listen, we're just going to practice marching around for the next few hours. We're probably just going to let you guys chill out till lunchtime, and then we're going to see what we're going to do after that. So they took us, we marched around the base a little bit, practiced our cadences, left, right, left. Hey, I know somebody knows that. So Boom. Right? We finished all that. Lunchtime comes. They give us some chips, some soda. That was nice. Now it's time to go to school. Right now, the school was only down the road from us, so we marched down there. Now we didn't actually do any classes, but we got to meet some of the teachers that we never got to meet beforehand. We had a math teacher, a science teacher, a history teacher. What else teacher we have? We had a social. We have a social studies teacher. I think we had a social studies teacher. Don't get me wrong. I think we had some type of social studies teacher. And these people were basically going to be teaching us in preparation for the GED test. So it's kind of a double thing. It's for you to get, your kids back into decent people, and it's for you to get your GED to get you back into the world. So we go down there. Some of the nicest people you ever meet. I would love to meet some of these people. Obviously, these teachers, again, they were really nice. Our math teacher, not so much. No one really liked her. I know her name. I'm not going to say it. It's just not worth it. Anyway, after finishing that up, we came back to the barracks, and we just chilled out for the rest of the day. There wasn't much to do until it was time. Around 5 or 6 o'clock. No, 5 o'clock. I think we had just... Dang, it started to make me think that lunch was not at 5 o'clock. Anyway, so around 5 o'clock, they kind of switched shifts. So morning shift is more of the captains, and the later shifts are the more higher ranking, officers or whatever. So one of them... Now, I don't know if I'm going to give everybody a fake name right now. So for this guy, I'm going to name him Sergeant Kane. So this is going to be Sergeant Kane. Okay? I don't know. Sergeant Kane. His name is Sergeant Kane. Sergeant Kane was very, very, very funny. He was a dude around 5'6", pretty, larger dude, and his knack was being able to be this very comedic character. He was very funny, right? But he would also make you feel very uncomfortable, like very, very uncomfortable. So he did this thing where it was around 5 o'clock, so the sun was up, right? Probably starting to go down a little bit. So he looks up at the sky while we're on formation watching him, and he says, "Alright, it's around 5:13. And we're looking at him. Now, here's the thing. He didn't have a watch on, nor did he know what time. He didn't have his phone. He literally looked at his wrist, looked at the air, put the wrist to his ear, and said it was 5:13. And then the cartoon next to him fact-checked him and said, yep, it's 5:13. Somehow he was able to do that, right? And he would do that at random times in the day. And part of me was like, he must have known what time it at least almost was, but he was never wrong. He was never wrong on the particular time. It was insane. He always did it. Then, unfortunately, one of the worst things about the first 2 weeks of the program happened. Group punishments. Holy moly. Let me tell you how bad that was. Now, anyone who knows what this means, I feel bad for you. Basically, if one person messes up, if one person doesn't do something right, we all suffer. So if one person gets smoked, the whole platoon is getting smoked. The whole squad is getting smoked. And it's nothing you can do. It was the most frustrating thing in the world. And he said something funny. And remember what happened to me when I laughed at First Sergeant. First Sergeant, I'm gonna call him First Sergeant Fellow. That's half his name. First Sergeant Fellow. I got smoked. This, as Sergeant Kane would call him, this joker, right? He said, he laughed. He laughed so hard when he was being serious. Because I guess this guy didn't take any of this seriously. You know what I mean? Like, we're all taking it seriously. We all want to get through this. And this guy's just like, whatever, dude. Hits him with one of those. And we all look at him and just like, we're sweating. Like, we're doing this. Like we're sweating. Like it was pure sweat and fear. And he says, "All right, second platoon, half right, face, forward, leading rest position, move." And we were like, "You piece of crap." Right, look, I'm not a violent person. I've never in my life been a violent person, but not every bit and part of me wanted to tear him into like 10,000 pieces of this shredded paper, because this guy would be the reason we get smoked almost every other day. And we did probably 50 or so push-ups. Now I know what a lot of y'all are thinking, I can do 50 push-ups in my sleep. I can do 50 push-ups with my left booty cheek, but I don't care what you can do. I was not in shape, nor was most of us were not in shape. It was 105 degrees. We were thirsty. We didn't get our canteens yet, so we don't have any water. And that guy just kept saying, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you just keep pushing up. I was done after I'm gonna be real with you guys, like 8 push-ups, I was done. I was that out of shape. I was like, my arms can't support the weight that I was trying to push up, and my arms were shaky and crampy. And I was on the ground. And because I couldn't keep going on, now I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was kind of one of those, when it came to physical activities, when it came to like punishments or whatever, I was a little bit of the weaker link, because I was big and chunky, and I really never worked out like this before. So when they were working me out, I was not being able to keep up with everybody else, and that was something that I struggled with immensely during this time in Free State, was me not being able to catch up. And it made me feel honestly depressed at times, because I would be the reason we would do more or we would do less, because I was always in the back and I was always struggling to keep up. And it was something that I struggled with. This, and I'm saying this, the first 2 weeks were very emotional for me, because a part of me wanted to quit every single day. Every single day, even day one, once I woke up, I wanted to go home. And anyone who's ever been to an actual military basic training, you may have felt this way too. It was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. So this is going to be kind of an emotional story for me, because like me looking at the ground and I'm sweating and I only did 8 push-ups, I felt weak. You know what I mean? I felt like terribly weak. You know, I was, and I'm not afraid to tell you this, I was around 320 pounds at the time, and it was something I just was not accustomed to. So my arms just weren't ready for what I was putting them through. Back to the story, we did more push-ups because, you know, this guy can't keep up. But we definitely were like ready to beat that kid up. Now I don't remember what this kid's name was, but I'm gonna give him a name. His name was Devin, you know, and he would be the reason we would suffer a lot. So the first day starts to come to an end. Nothing more really happens that day. We go inside. Most of my roommates now, I don't know if I should. I don't have a lot of stories about my particular teammate. I said teammates, my roommates, but let's give them all names. Justin, whatever, right? If they're important to the story, I'm gonna give them a name. There were 2 black kids, including me, so I guess I was 3 black kids, some kid from some other foreign country, and then there was this white kid. Okay, well, I'm gonna say he was more mixed but white. So I'll let you guys know if they're ever important. But me and the light skinned kid were just talking about just getting to know each other. The two black kids were talking about rap or whatever, and that one foreign kid was just sitting above me, just reading a book or whatever. The day ends, and that particular day wasn't too hard because day 2 was. Let me see. Day 2 and 3. I think the majority of the first week they went easy on us because we still had to learn so much. The rest of the week, we were learning how we were refining our marching, getting sharpened in that sense. We got a lot of our uniforms. We learned how to wear them. Let's see. We got all of our equipment, our canteens, which was a savior because usually when we go work out and we didn't have our canteens, we were suffering, right? I think I remember particularly, I think on the 4th day, they had us run like a mile and a half or 2 miles, and then run back, and then I was just walking back because a lot of us were in the back walking with the captain because we couldn't run anymore, and I remember just feeling like I was about to die because I was so thirsty, right? Like nothing is better than a drink of cold water when you're tired. Like nothing is better in this whole world. I remember when we got inside and I inhaled some water. This is like a day before we got our canteens. It was a thing of beauty, right? It was wonderful. So most of the first week was just getting used to the program or whatever. Around the end of the week, at least 30 boys had gotten sent home due to behavior, due to not wanting to be there. A lot of us got sent home. Don't remember their names because they really weren't important. My squad actually stayed at 22 people for the majority of the time there. We were one of the biggest squads, so that we always had that flex. You know what I mean? That flex. We were always one of the bigger squads. So, being stuck with guys, and now our barracks was actually just one building, and each of us was on different levels of the floor. There were 3 levels of this. Well, 4. There's the ground level and then 3 upper levels of this barracks. Floor 1 is 1st and 2nd platoons. You know what I mean? And so 1st platoon and 2nd platoon. How do I explain this? The first half of this is a long, super long hallway of just rooms, and then they cut it in half. Now, each of our platoons were color coded. So 1st platoon was blue, 2nd platoon was red, and 3rd platoon was, were they green? Yeah, they had this weird green color. So they cut the hallway in half. So half of it has this really long blue line, then it's a cut, and then it's a really long red line. That's how you tell which side is the 1st platoon side, which side is the 2nd platoon side. So we were separated because of that line. And the line in the middle were the bathrooms. So we had a bathroom that cut off, which was our bathroom, and a bathroom that was their bathroom. Had around 3 or 4 stalls, 3 or 4 urinals, about 3 or 4 sinks. Now, by the end of the program, this wasn't the case. We're gonna get into that later, but people were disgusting, and I don't want to talk about it. So by the end of the week, they started giving out chores to everybody. So there's people who, every room had their own chores, but they had to clean up. And then specific people were chosen every week at random to do chores like mopping the whole hallway, sweeping the whole hallway, getting all the trash, things like that. So first week, I'm mopping. I'm like, okay, I can mop the whole hallway. I have to wait till everyone is off the floor and then I have to wait for the person who sweeps the hallway to sweep. Now the person who was supposed to sweep, went to sleep. So that was a problem because he wasn't waking up. So I had to sweep, then mop. And I was pissed off about it, but I had to do it because they were gonna punish this kid tomorrow, and I basically got a get out of jail free card for something. If something ever happened to me, I was good. I was able to get off of it for free. So I took that get out of free. Getting smoked, You will do anything to not get smoked. So don't look at me when I did what I had to do. I had to not get smoked again, and that pass saved my life. And I'm gonna tell you when it eventually did save my life. But I cleaned up, went to bed, and you go to sleep. And that was around the first week. The first week was just consistent, making sure we were sharp with everything that was going on with our cadences. First week, done. So nothing particular happened. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything. We went around rides around the campus and everything. Oh, we were not allowed to have money. We were not allowed to have technology, whether that be phones or whatever. We had to send notes home. Like, we had to write letters. This is the first time I've ever written a letter since I was like 5. So you write letters and you send it to home, and they have to send it back to you. So, like, your parents, they can't really come up and give you stuff. They have to, like, send it in a box, and it has to be searched and approved. Okay? So, we're going to talk about mail time. You know, let's talk about mail time. Right now, I think I got some more time on me. This video went a little longer than what I thought it was supposed to, but let's keep it going. So, mail time actually happened around 5 o'clock. They would bring out the mail. Mail time was kind of emotional for a lot of people because, and so was that first week. Everybody was missing their families. Everybody was homesick. People missed their moms, and people depending on them for so long. We were still kids. So, like, it was a very strange. People were crying every day. Like, I cried. I'm not gonna lie. I cried on the third day. I was like, this is ridiculously hard, and I want to quit. So, during mail time, you would hope to hear from your families. We didn't get to call them home a lot. So you would sit there in line, and they're calling people out with their mail, and people would get so happy. It's one of the happier times of the day. You know, you get to read from your families and stuff. They get to tell you how proud they are of you. So I remember, actually, by the end of the week, because I didn't get mail, not getting mail sucked. It's like a stab in the heart. It sucks, okay? But by the end of the week, I got my first mail from my family. We talked, and they talked how they missed me, how things were quiet. It was really emotional, you know what I mean? I cried reading the letter. And I know people are like, it's just a 5-month program. Dude, you're away. Like, this is the first time you're doing this, and you just don't know. You know what I mean? You want to quit, but you don't want to let anyone down. So I cried reading that first letter, but it made me stronger in a way. Not to be too poetic or anything, but it made me stronger. It made me seeing them be proud of me and say that they're proud of me and happy for me, and seeing that they want to see me at the graduation. That made me want to finish it. And every time I got a letter, if I was ever in doubt, I wanted it more. So that first letter I got towards the end of the week just ignited a fire under me, and it made me just want to go further. So anyway, that's the end of week 1 of the 2 weeks of actual hell. Part 2 is going to have a lot more controversy, and it's going to get very interesting. So if you guys did enjoy this episode, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. If you ever had any experiences like this, and please hit that bell icon so YouTube can tell you when I upload my videos. And I'm out of here. Peace.
Do you think you'll never